Welcome everyone. In this video lecture, we will discuss about the various physical properties and characteristics. In the last lecture, we have covered some of the physical properties. So, this is the content of the lecture. Then, sphericity. The definition of sphericity is the cube root of a ratio of volume of solid and the volume of circumscribed sphere. So it is also defined as the ratio of surface area of sphere having the same volume as that of particle to the surface area of the particle. So sphericity is given by the formula, that is volume of solid divided by volume of circumscribed sphere raised to the power 1 by 3. So in formula we can write as pi by 6 into ABC divided by pi by 6 into A cube bracket raised to the power 1 by 3. After solving this, we will get in bracket ABC bracket complete raised to the power 1 by 3 divided by A. So where A, B, C are the various dimensional characteristics of the biological material. A is the length, B is the breadth, and C is the thickness. So this is the formula of sphericity. So sphericity is a dimensionless quantity. The value of sphericity for biological material ranges from 0 to 1. Almost all spherical objects have sphericity approaching 1. An orange has sphericity of the order of 0.95. The sphericity of paddy grain lies between 0.1302 to 0.1520 for most of the varieties. So considering the volume of the particle is equal to the volume of an ellipsoid having 3 axes with intercepts L, B and T, and diameter of the circumscribed sphere is the largest intercept L of the ellipsoid as shown in the figure. The degree of sphericity can be expressed as given below. Sphericity, as we also discussed in our last slide, it is also given here. Sphericity is equal to cube root of volume of the particle divided by volume of circumscribed sphere. In mathematical mode, it is given by pi by 6 into LBT divided by pi by 6 into L cube whole bracket raised to the power 1 by 3. So pi by 6 LBT is nothing but the volume of the particle, and pi by 6 into L cube is the volume of circumscribed sphere. So after solving, we again get LBT raised to 1 by 3 divided by L. So that is nothing but the geometric mean diameter divided by major intercept. So it is necessary that the 3 intercepts of the particle intersect each other at a common point. The geometric mean diameter of the particle is also called as the equivalent diameter. So by using this formula LBT raised to 1 by 3 by L, we will find out the sphericity of the object. In this case, the upper term, the LBT raised to 1 by 3 is nothing but the formula of size. When this dimension, that is geometric mean diameter, is divided by the largest intercept, we will get the sphericity. So sphericity is also given by a di by dc, where di is equal to diameter of largest inscribed circle, which is shown in the figure, and dc is equal to diameter of smallest circumscribed circle, which is shown in this image. Shape. The definition of shape is the rigid form of the body. Shape is nothing but the rigid form of the body. Seed grains, fruits and vegetables are irregular in shape, and to describe their complete form, infinite measurement are required from practical point of view. Measurement of three mutually perpendicular axes is however sufficient. The number of these measurements increases with increase in irregularity of the shape. So this image shows the examples of chartered standard for describing shape of fruits and vegetable, that is from left to right. Like for apple, in the very left there is a figure of apple, then peaches, and then potatoes. Shape of some of the object. So in this slide we will discuss about the various shape of biological material. So prolate. So what do you mean by prolate? When spheroid form when an ellipse rotates about its major axis. The example is of prolate shaped biological material is lemon. When ellipse rotates about its major axis, in that case a spheroid is formed and the shape of that spheroid is prolate, and we can find out the volume of this prolate shaped biological material by using the formula 4 into pi into a into b square divided by 3, where a and b are major and minor axes respectively. Oblate, so spheroid form when an ellipse rotates about its minor axis. Example of oblate shaped biological material is grape. So the basic differences between prolate and oblate is the rotation of the ellipse about major and minor axis. When ellipse rotate about major axis, the shape or spheroid form is of a prolate shape, and when ellipse rotate about its minor axis, the spheroid form is of oblate shape. So in this case, the volume is found out by 4 pi into a square into b divided by 3. So third, right circular cone. Example of right circular cone shaped biological material is carrot. So formula is V is equal to pi into h in bracket r1 square plus r1 into r2 plus r2 square bracket complete divided by 3, where r1 and r2 are minimum and maximum radii and h is height. So there are also different shapes with their description shown in this slide. Shape round. So the round shape nearly approaching spheroid. Oblate. Flatten at the stem end and apex. In oblate shape biological material, as we discussed in our last slide, so the object is flattened at the apex, at the top and at the bottom, that is at the stem and at the apex. Stem is the bottom and apex is the top part. Oblong. Vertical diameter greater than the horizontal diameter. In this case, the diameter of the vertical diameter of the object is greater than the horizontal diameter. Conic shaped biological material tapered towards the apex. Ovate. It looks like egg shapes and broad at the stem end. Oblique or ellipsoidal. In this case, axis connecting stem and apex is slanted. Obovate, in which inverted ovate is nothing but the inverted ovate. Elliptical. It is approaching ellipsoid. It looks like ellipsoid. Truncate. In truncate, the shape of truncate shape biological material is like having both the ends squared or flattened. Unequal. One half larger than the other. In unequal biological shape material, the one half part of the material is larger than the other half. Ribbed. In cross section, sides are more or less angular. Regular horizontal section approaches a circle. Irregular horizontal cross section departs materially from a circle. So these are the some shapes with their description. Also next, round, that is example is potato, and the volume is found out by using the expression v is equal to 4 pi into r square divided by 3. Cylindrical shape biological material, the example of this is cucumber, in which volume is found out by using v is equal to pi into r square into h. Elliptical shape biological material, the example is egg, in which volume is found out by using the expression 4 into pi divided by 3 into a into b square, in which a and b are major and minor axis respectively. Then this calculated volume means the volume found out by these formulas is compared with the actual volume determined by experiment, and a correction factor is established for the typical shape of each variety of the product. Because of the irregular shape of the product, volume is usually determined by water displacement method. The next physical property is density and specific gravity. So density and specific gravity of food material and agricultural products plays an important role in many applications. For example, drying and storing of hay, design of silos and storage bins, mechanical composition of silage, separation of crops, sorting and grading, maturity evaluation, texture and softness of fruits are some of the examples where density and specific gravity is used. The density of agricultural material can be described in two ways. That is, the true density of a material refers to the density of a single grain or kernel, whereas bulk density refers to the density of material in bulk. So these are the two ways in which we describe the density of agricultural material, that is true density and bulk density. So bulk density depends upon the degree of packing. Methods for the determination of density and specific gravity. The first method to determine the density or specific gravity is platform balance, and second one is the specific gravity balance. Specific gravity balance method has two categories, that is if the solid is heavier than water and if the solid is lighter than water. In both the cases we use the different methods or different expressions to find out the specific gravity of that particular biological material. Relative density bottle method, this is one of the most important methods of the specific gravity determination of the agricultural commodity. Bulk density of porous material is also determined by platform method and chemical spray method. The first is the platform balance method. It is a very simple technique to determine the specific gravity of fruit, which applies to large objects like fruits and vegetables and calculated as under, that is W1 divided by W1 minus W2, where W1 is nothing but the weight of the fruit in air gram and W2 is the weight of the fruit in water. So by measuring the weight of object or fruit in air and by measuring the weight of fruit in water, we can find out the specific gravity of fruit by using the platform balance method. So this is the platform balance method. Platform balance consists of a various part like scale, brass sinker, rod or thread, specimen, container, stand. So in this condition, when the object is in the air, that time we have to measure its weight, then we have to drop it in a water, and then we have to take the weight of that sample in water. Second is the specific gravity balance method. This method has two conditions. That is, if the solid is heavier than water, in this case volume, first we have to determine the volume. by using the formula weight in air minus weight in water divided by weight density of water. And specific gravity is determined by using the formula weight in air divided by weight in air minus weight in water bracket complete into specific gravity of liquid, where SGL, that is SGL, it means specific gravity of water. So this is the diagram of specific gravity balance method for if the object is heavier than water. If the solid is lighter than water. So in this case, what happens? Solid, if the lighter is lighter than water, it does not sink into the water. For doing or for sinking that object into the water, we have to add some weight to that biological material so that it can sink into the water. That weight is nothing but the sinker. A sinker is used along the object and the specific gravity is calculated as under. That is, specific gravity is equal to weight WA object divided by in bracket WA minus WW both minus in bracket WA minus WW bracket complete sinker into SGL. So where WA is nothing but the weight of the object in air and WW is the weight of the object in water. And as previously we see that SGL nothing but the specific gravity of the liquid, that is of the water. So relative density bottle method. So this is the most important method of specific gravity determination. This method is particularly used to determine the specific gravity of a irregular shaped granular material. So in this table format, the procedure of the experiment is given. So in first step, we have to take weight of the bottle in air and it is denoted by W1 and the unit is gram. Weight of bottle plus water in air is taken in the second step and it is nothing but the W2 gram. In the third step, we have to take the weight of the bottle plus toluene in air. It is denoted by W3 gram. So from W1, W2 and W3, we have to determine the specific gravity of toluene by using the formula W3 minus W1 divided by W2 minus W1. It means it is the ratio of weight of toluene in air divided by weight of water in air. By using this expression, we can find out the specific gravity of toluene. So in the next step, we have to take the weight of the bottle plus 10 gram of the grain sample plus sufficient toluene to cover the sample. It is denoted by W4 gram. So all the total experiment is carried out at an ambient temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. Then specific gravity of grain is found out by using specific gravity of toluene into weight of the grain divided by weight of toluene displaced by the grain. So the weight of the toluene displaced by the grain is found out by subtracting the difference in bottle weights when filled with toluene and when containing the weight of the grain sample. So why we use the toluene? What are the advantages of using toluene in such kind of experiments? The advantages are that little tendency of toluene to soak into the kernel, means toluene in a very little quantity toluene gets soaked into the kernel. A low specific tension, toluene has a low specific tension, therefore it enables it to flow smoothly over the kernel surface. Little solvent action on constituents of the kernel, especially fats and oils. This toluene has a fairly high boiling point. And next, not changing its specific gravity and viscosity materially on exposure to the atmosphere. When we expose this toluene to the atmosphere, it does not change its specific gravity and viscosity. This toluene has a low specific gravity. Because of all these reasons, we use toluene for the determination of specific gravity of a granular material. The specific gravity of granular material is, I told you that is conducted or calculated at an ambient temperature of 20 degrees Celsius, in which the pycnometer or relative density bottle is used to determine the specific gravity. Bulk density of porous material. Bulk density of porous material is found out by three methods, that is platform scale method, then chemical spray method, and radiation method. So for larger materials like stones insoluble in water, the bulk density is measured by using a platform balance. The bulk density is calculated as under, that is specific gravity of dry object is equal to, in bracket, WAD divided by WAW minus WW24 into SGL, where WAD is nothing but dry weight of object in air. WAW is nothing but weight of object in water after being submerged in water for 24 hours. WW24 is equal to weight of object in air after being removed from water and free from surface moisture, and SGL is nothing but the specific gravity of liquid. So what exactly we have to do in this experiment? We have to take weight of object, that is first we have to take weight of object in air, then we have to transfer this object in water, and it is being submerged in water for 24 hours. In that case, we have to take weight after 24 hours within when the object submerged in water. Then again we have to take the weight of object after 24 hours, but in this case the object should be removed from the water. There is, what is the difference between WAW and WW24? WAW is taken when the object is in the water after 24 hours, but in WW24 the object is removed from the water and the surface moisture is removed by using the tissue paper, and then weight is taken, and SGL is the specific gravity of liquid. So in this way we can find out the specific gravity of dry object by using platform scale. For measuring unit bulk weight density of feed pellets and wafers, penetration of liquid into the material can be prevented by coating with paraffin wax, putting in plastic bag, and even dipping in the fine granular material like sand instead of liquid, and then determining the density of material. So it becomes very difficult to find out the bulk density of a feed pellets or the substances which are highly porous in nature. We cannot directly put it in water to find out its weight in water. So we cover this object with paraffin wax, or sometimes we put this product in plastic bag, or even dipping in fine granular material like sand instead of liquid, so that water will penetrate in a low quantity into the object, and we can easily find out the weight of the object in water for the further calculation of specific gravity of that product. So the next method for determining the specific gravity of the material is chemical spray method, in which the porous object is sprayed with a solution A, and then this object sprayed with chemical A is submerged in a solution B. So this solution B forms a thin impermeable membrane by polymerization. Here polymerization takes place, by which a impermeable layer forms over the surface of the porous material. This membrane corresponding closely to the specimen surface irregularity. It means that the shape of membrane is similar to the shape or surface irregularities of the object. So in this case, solution is nothing but the 20% aluminum sulfate, and the solution B is carboxyl methyl cellulose. It is in short it is also called as CMC. So this has following properties, that is specific gravity of 1% solution is 1.004, specific gravity of 2% solution is 1.006, bulk density is 0.72 gram per centimeter cube, viscosity of 0.5% solution is 100 centipoise, and the pH of 1% solution is 7.5. So it is claimed that a strong and stable impermeable film is formed as soon as the two compounds, that is chemical A and chemical B, come in contact with each other. The solution B, in which the specimen is dipped, also serve as the volumetric liquid. So the next method of determination of specific gravity of porous material is radiation method. So this method is applicable where the grain or any porous material is in closed condition like silos or closed storage structures. Measurement of bulk density in a bin or silos is measured by this way without removing the sample by the use of radioactive sources, in which radioactive substances are used to measure the bulk density. So the radioactive sources like caesium-137 or cobalt is lowered in a pipe installed in the center of the silo before the silo is fitted or filled. Before the silo is filled. When the silo is empty, at the center point of the silo, a vertical pipe is placed, and this vertical pipe has a number of holes over its surface. A radiation detector outside the silo measures the amount of radiation coming through the silage. The transmitted radiation decreases with increase in silage density as settling takes place. So outside the storage structure, a radiation detector is provided which measures the amount of radiation comes out of the silos. When we fill the silo, that grain takes the space or covers the space within the silo. Therefore the radiation comes out of the silo, and in what rate the radiation comes out from the silos is measured or detected by that radiation detector, and the value of bulk density is directly given by that instrument or by that device. So the transmitted radiation decreases with increase in silage density as settling takes place. The method does not require making opening in the silo, which cause aeration and decomposition and offers continuous determination of silage pressures. So there are some limitations while using this radiation method for determination of bulk density in a bin or silo. So thank you. So in this way, in this video lecture, we cover different physical properties like shape, then specific gravity, and there are various methods like platform balance method, relative density bottle method. Then again, what there are conditions that which formula should be used when the object is lighter than or heavier than water. In case of porous material, we saw three different methods, that is platform balance method, then chemical spray method, and radiation method. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the remaining physical properties of the agricultural produce. Thank you.